It's Thursday the 14th of August 2014, and this is working towards my final abstract piece for assignment 2, and working from a classical picture. This is one of Mary Cassatt's pictures that I've admired for a long time. It's called Two Young Ladies in a Loge, and it was painted by her in 1882. And what appeals to me about this is the contrast of the light and dark, the sort of the stripes. I like the way that the girl's hair is in within this dark band, and then you've got this light band through the middle, and then you've got these two curves of the balconies, and then the curve of the fan and the dress and the shoulders, and then this cream up above is echoed down below in the bouquet of roses. So I think it's a really well constructed picture. I also like the shoulders and this person behind as well. So lots of mirrored shapes. So that appealed to me as a good picture to work with and see what I could make from it. I'm also, having been looking at my Picasso and what he did with classical pictures and how much he worked and developed from a classical picture in terms of 30 paintings and hundreds of drawings. I kind of set myself a challenge to see how far I can take it, and beginning to admire the amount of time and effort that he put into doing this kind of work. So I started with a tracing and put that into my sketchbook and just was colouring it in with some paintings. And what I did find was that the centre of the bouquet and the centre of the fan, and where was the other one? The fan and the sort of centre of this head just all line up perfectly. And I also like the arrangement of the arms, that they sort of lead your eye into the picture. And you've got this sort of sweep of the darks, and then again carried through the gallery. So that was one. Tried painting it again in colours, trying to make more of the sort of circles and semicircles, and then to try and reduce those shapes even further. Quite like this little watercolour sketch. It's quite interesting. Then I looked at the sort of the curve of the neck and the shoulders, and the way that was echoed with the person standing behind. And again, there trying to look at gaps. This was thinking about how it might translate using the acetate strips that I'd used on my on the project 2 with the for the random abstract, and just thinking how that texture with the acetates might be incorporated into this picture. Again, just simplifying, almost like a sort of an ampersand shape within that. Bit more experimenting and just trying to simplify the shapes and playing with tones and stripes a bit there. Then I took the colours and tried to make blocks of colour. This goes back to we went to the exhibition of Ghosts of Gone Birds, and there was a print there that I particularly liked, where of two small birds and a sort of palm tree, where somebody coloured in the artist had coloured in the background first, and then printed again over the top with a dark colour where they'd wiped the plate to sort of just allow the dark to show in certain places. So I did this with I've got some honey-based watercolours, which the colours are really strong and pure, and they sort of overlap each other quite well. But they also show every brushstroke. It's quite hard to get a good wash with them, but they're very, very sensitive. They're soft sort of and tacky, so used very thinly you could get a wash, but using them at this intensity you can see all the brush marks. and then I just used a piece of plastic Polly Pocket as an overlay to show how I might be able to use the wiped glass technique. So I did some working out of how I would do that. So I would use my glass plate and paint the orange on, and then paint the blue on. I'd use a mask to try and keep this body shape clear. Then use the black and wipe that, put that over, and then use a card plate to emboss this body shape, which was white. And again, just playing with other ideas and with circles, concentrating here on the fan and the bouquet. So yeah, that I thought could be quite interesting. Simplifying that again, taking the body shape down to just a rectangle, which again could be masked and embossed, and making more of the sort of the angles of the arm lines. So just mucking around there really. Then keep trying to push it and take it further, not be satisfied with what I got. So this one I was copying the picture and trying to draw the facets and the angles, and get the picture out that way. So pick up the roundness of it. And then this one here, I wanted to, going back to the first project where you got the layers and the lines between, I simplified and sort of cut out the shapes in thick paper and glued them on, and then I did a kind of brass rubbing over the top, just to pick up the channels where the paper was stuck on. And I came up with this here, and I think this sort of shape here with the head and the neck starts to make a good abstract shape. And actually the heads, the fan and the sort of angle of the neck kind of makes the whole picture. You might need a bit of this curve in here to complete it, but to me that captures the essence of the girls and their companionship and the sort of environment that they're in. So what I'm trying to do now is I've got a Polly Pocket that I've drawn up with squares, so that I can use it as an overlay for tracing. So I'm just trying to draw them up a bit bigger, and I've drawn them up freehand. So what I'm doing now is I'm in the process of cutting these out, and I need to just check this angle here against this one here, so that when they're all cut up that measures out. So I'm cutting 4 or 5 different layers of those, so that I've got plenty of templates to play with. So yes, it did need a little bit of redrawing, so I'm glad I've checked, and that's just given that line a little bit more finesse. So yeah, pleased with that. So what I'm doing now is just quickly rearranging shapes. I've had to move into a bigger sketchbook because I hadn't got enough space to work in my small one. At the moment I'm just going to arrange them and take photographs and see what I come up with. This one's quite an interesting arrangement, and the overlaps will be good underneath, so I'm going to take a rubbing of this one to see what I get. And here's the result, which is quite pleasing. Moves away from the heads, comes up with a completely different look, almost like stones, and I like the way that the white lines in between weave around, and I've got control over those, because depending on how close together or how far apart I put the templates, I can make those lines wider, but that's quite printily and would translate very well. Nice, neat, abstract, and it would need working on to get some nice textures in there. And I just did this one as completely random, just pushed the pieces around on the paper and did a rubbing off that and got that, which is, it's interesting. It's like a sort of Celtic knotwork, except that there's no repetition, or it is completely random. This one's the two girls, pretty close to their original state, and this is the rubbing from them. So yeah, I'm beginning to like that. I like the shapes that are appearing in between, and the way the overlaps are working. Ran out of paper on this one. Lost the edge of the fan. I need to do another one just to see what it looks like when it's proper size, with good space around it. This is up to A3 size now, and it's beginning to look quite dramatic. I'm liking it, and yeah, I think I could do some 3D effects sort of around the side of the faces, perhaps in the shoulders. It's almost got quite a bridal appearance. So the edge of the fan defines the edge of the body of the left-hand figure as well. Trying to work out with printing how I would get that 3D effect. Maybe I need to put another sort of half layer in just to make an extra line. This is the using the three fan shapes together with the figure, and it's quite effective. Beginning to look like a Christmas angel, but it's moving away from the abstract. So here I've just used the 4 egg shapes, but I've adjusted the spacing in between what was on the face, the face and the hairline, so that I've got variety in the spaces in between. And this is how the rubbing has come out, and I'm pretty pleased with that. I know it's it's an even number, and generally you'd expect to have an odd number, but I quite like the effect of that. It's very plain and simple, but there's variety in the ribbon, and it appears to sort of be wrapped around and linking the 4 shapes. It's the space in between has now got continuity, so that it becomes a shape on its own. I think that's quite a smart abstract print, even though it's not as clever and complicated as I set out to do. Sometimes less is more, as they say. Yep, I thought this would be a good point to go back to the brief and check what I'm supposed to do, because it seems too easy to just produce this one by itself. And sure enough, the assignment is asking for a set of 3 prints, a suite of 3 prints. So this, for me, is definitely one of them. One down, 2 more to go.